show them at the other time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Star-Spangled Banner. Please welcome Renee Manning to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing till let the heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the glistening sky. Let us march on till victory is one. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has borne. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has borne us. Nations are rising, sun, our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. full of the hope that the dark past has borne us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has borne us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let it march on till victory is won. Till victory is won. Till victory is won.
Now let's welcome the president of Greenwood Cemetery, Mr. Richard Moylan. Let's have one more hand for the Grassfield High School Orchestra. They joined us on our last two numbers. Stand up and take a bow, Grassfield.
Good afternoon. I'm going to be very brief today because we have a really full program for you today. This is 20 years, believe it or not. 20 years I haven't had a Memorial Day off. It's an honor to be here, saluting all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. This year is a very special year. It's the 100th anniversary of the birth of Leonard Bernstein. So we have a special tribute for him today. And it's also the last time that Ryan Wursdale will be leading the ISO orchestra. He's moving on to bigger and better things. He's actually leaving Brooklyn. That's the part I don't get. But he'll be back. We have a number of special guests today, and we'd like to start off with the assistant speaker, the assemblyman for this district for a long time. He's been a good friend of Greenwood's and a good friend of Brooklyn, good friend of Sunset Park. Assemblyman Felix Ortiz.
Richard. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great day today to remember those who sacrificed their life for every single one of us to have a wonderful liberty and democracy. But also I would like to point out that it's very important also to remember the family of those who sacrificed themselves, for giving them to us to make sure that they will be able to be serving where they went to the armed forces. I am a very proud captain from the military. I went to the Army back in 1986. I also have a son who served in Iraq, and I also have a very long history of family members who really serve this country from Puerto Rico. So from Puerto Rico we came to this country to give opportunity to others, and we should never forget the families. Today I have my son-in-law who is a master sergeant, who is a sergeant major. If he's a master sergeant, he would kill me. A sergeant major in Syria as we speak. He's flying around Syria, he's flying around Iraq. There's so many of them out there today. So let's don't forget those who are still serving today, to make sure that we can continue to have the wonderful land that we have. But at the same token, I asking you to remember their sons and daughters, and their sons and daughters who they leaving behind, together with their wife or husband, depending who is outside. And remember them every single moment that you have the opportunity. I pray for them. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here, and may God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblyman. For those of you who don't know, Lift Every Voice and Sing, the co-writer of that song was James Weldon Johnson. James Weldon Johnson rests here at Greenwood, and we are honored to have him. Next up, he's been here many years now. He never misses a year. Our president of the borough of Brooklyn, Eric Adams.
Thank you, Richard and Brian. I don't know where he disappeared to, but he has done an amazing job year after year. And I was just thinking, listen to the assemblyman. Every year, my family, we reflect on losing my uncle, Gloss, who died in Vietnam many years ago. And it's just a moment of reflection. So this is not a day off, this is a day on for us to remember what this country represents and the countless number of men and women who sacrificed their lives. We sit under the tree of freedom because they watered that tree with their blood. And we need to always remember that. Even as we listen to the beautiful melodies of these songs, it is a reflection and a moment of reflecting on those who we know who are not only overseas, but even defend us here on the precious soil called America. My favorite line in the Star Spangled Banner is that bombs burst in air, but our flag is still here. That metaphor is not only for the physical bombs, but it is also some of the emotional bombs that burst throughout our lifetime, from both these two major wars, to the Vietnam War, to the Great Depression, to 9/11, to the fallen heroes of some of the members who served with me in the police department as a captain. We will go through these tragedies. If we have the fortune to live long enough, we will have the misfortune of enduring some form of pain. Our goal as Americans is that we turn pain into purpose and live a purposeful life and continue the generations to come after us. This is a great country. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to know what we represent, and I'm also proud to be in the greatest place on the globe, this place we call Brooklyn, USA. Two types of Americans, those who live in Brooklyn and those who wish they could. Thank you very much.
Today was made very easy for us. When we started this 20 years ago, it was a benefit concert, and benefit concert that's free. That's a tough one to make money on. But this year we've had great support from our good friend Doja Hasty and the Brooklyn Eagle. There's a lot of things happening there. They've just acquired another new local newspaper. Visit them today. We had an assemblyman that didn't represent Greenwood, but he was a good friend. He was here every year, Jim Brennan. We miss Jim. But we were very fortunate, for those of us who live in the area, to be represented by the gentleman who succeeded him. He's now in his second term already, right? Second year. Assemblyman Robert Carroll.
Thank you, Rich, and good afternoon. It's so wonderful to be here with all of you as we celebrate Memorial Day and remember all of those who sacrificed their life in defense of our country. I would be remiss if I didn't mention also that Greenwood has always been a part of my life. Both of my grandparents are buried here. This is an absolutely wonderful institution and a treasure for Brooklyn. And coming out here and enjoying the day and remembering all those who served is a wonderful way to celebrate Memorial Day and to ring in the summer. So I'm glad to be here with all of you, and please enjoy the show.
Thank you, Rich. Hi, everyone. I'm John Connolly, Director of Public Engagement and Development for Greenwood. Wanted to say another thing about our good friends at the Brooklyn Eagle who are sponsoring this event today. We're also very grateful for their presence here. They're going to be doing a feature on veterans and veterans' families. So please visit their tent, which is the second blue tent here. Talk to one of their reporters. They'd love to hear from you if you are a veteran or a family member of a veteran. Thanks again, and back to our program. Hello again. Today we celebrate Memorial Day, a day that here at Greenwood we commemorate our heroes lost and fallen and music of those who shaped our lives and have called their final resting place here, Greenwood Cemetery. We begin with the talented students of the ISO Symphony and the most famous of our composer residents, Leonard Bernstein. Born in Lenox, Mass. in 2018, Leonard Bernstein called New York home. So it was appropriate that he chose Greenwood for his family to reside. This year, orchestras and ensembles throughout the world are celebrating the centennial of the birth of this musical giant. Today we will focus on two of Bernstein's most iconic scores. First, we go to Candide, 1956. This overture is considered one of the finest overtures in the Broadway medium. While the musical did not receive a great reception on Broadway during its original time, it has gone through many revisions, and the music has actually stood the test of the decades. So here we are with the ISO Symphony performing the overture to Candide. I have to say, because we're coming close to a special thing that we do every year that everywhere all over the country on Memorial Day happens, but this, I don't know where Richard is and where Lisa is, but I'm looking out here and this could be a record crowd. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out, but what a great, let me hear a roar from the audience. Let me hear. I feel like I can get away with saying this and not, you know, but we've been doing this 11 years. It hasn't rained a single time in the 11 years. And you know, I watch the weather report all week and look at this and look at the group of people that are here to listen. As Rich pointed out, this is my last concert here. The band will be back. I am relocating to Pittsburgh. Don't hold that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, appreciate that. I grew up here my whole life. You all know that. Those of you who've been here every year. This is a special place for me, Brooklyn, and spending my entire existence here, and it's a long time. It's 42 years. So having this opportunity to go and help affect the lives of other music students in another place in the country is something I'm very excited about. But my heart will always be here. I will always visit. I will make a little cameo every now and then. You won't be rid of me completely because you can never be rid of a Warsdale. Across the country at 3 o'clock, we take a moment to observe a moment of silence. And it's a moment of remembrance. And I'm going to ask everyone at this time who's here and listening and is in earshot of this microphone, that we are all just going to take a moment and think about the sacrifices made so that young people can play a musical instrument, so that young people can speak up and if they think something is not right, and they speak up for it, so that young people can make a decision to represent our country by serving in our armed forces or being a teacher or being a doctor or being a lawyer or being an activist. Whatever they choose to do, they have that freedom because they grow up in what is the greatest nation in the world. And I can't begin to tell you that you have to have that optimism. No matter what, you have to think that there's always going to be a better tomorrow. And if anything tells you that, it's these young people behind you. And so across the country, we all take a moment to think about those who helped make that happen. And after we have that brief moment of silence, we will hear taps. So we ask that you take a moment, pause, stand where you are, and have a moment of silence. Thank you.